let's jump into it. Let's critique some art today. And a quick announcement. So I have not had a lot of sales lately. All the weekends of every month, maybe every other weekend, I'll do like a random flash sale, like up to 30% off, stuff like that, for my portrait studio software and my masterclass on Gumroad. So if you would like that price, keep an eye out for it. And my masterclass on Gumroad is $90. So keep an eye out on that. There is currently I'm not sure how many are left, but it's less than 50% left of the promo code, which is launch 10. Launch, like the word launch, LAUNCH 10. That'll give you 10% off this price. But if 10% off is still not low enough, keep an eye out. I might do flash sales across the month. Random weekends, you just keep checking it whenever you want to check on my store. Keep checking and you might see it. That's it for announcements, really. For those who wonder what this all is, it is a critique community. You submit your art on my subreddit. You go to istebrak.com and you click on the subreddit icon here. It'll take you to my subreddit. You submit your art and we critique it for you. And that's it, really. We critique all kinds of stuff. Please don't submit basic like stencil drawings of anime. Please don't submit furry art. Please don't submit NSFW stuff like lewd stuff or porn stuff or anything like that. That's not accepted. But nude studies are accepted as long as they're censored in case there's underage people in the group. But it's one of the most active critique communities online. It's really great for growing your art, and I run it every Tuesday and Thursday on either my Twitch or my YouTube account. Right now it's mostly Twitch. So again, to reach my Twitch, go to istebrak.com and click on the Twitch icon right here, the little speech bubble with the eyes. So please consider following me on Twitch. Please, please, please pause this right now. Go to istebrak.com and click on the Twitch icon. Follow me there. Next I go live, I sketch, I draw some stuff. Some of the recent stuff I've sketched is some thick women. These were done recently on the YouTube split stream, Twitch split stream thing. But if you want to watch my process and all that, please do consider following me on Twitch. I know you guys are subscribers on YouTube, but not every subscriber gets a notification now, as we all know. So please consider going there. Thank you so much. Okay, let's talk about these pieces right now. So I'm just gonna throw my skill at it and see what happens. So it's got a lot of problems in it. It's a really, the anatomy, it's hard to tell the age, and then the gesture is great, but the colors seem a little bit washed out. The crop is also a little bit unusual because his head is running out of room, and the size of the face in comparison to the head. So the size of the head and the tilt of the head. Not that it's a silhouette, there's light behind him, but he does have a lot of white behind him. So it looked very washed out. You see the before, after, before, after. Oh, but his skin is darker now. That's okay, because we can grab the older skin tone. I'm not asking you to completely change your character's design, but we can capture the old skin tone and bring it back while preserving the shadows you had there. But your light also doesn't make any sense, because there's a shadow on the arm this way, but then the light is coming this way, casting a shadow on the other side of the face, that way. So that again is another problem in and of itself. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the layer. So I'm going to merge that down. I'm going to duplicate the whole layer, and I'm going to darken it to hell. And the reason I'm doing that is just to show you how much you could benefit from strengthening your core shadows. So what I'm doing is every single one of these surfaces is a three-dimensional object. And I'm going to be responding to the light source by deleting only 1/2 of every object's shadows. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm preserving the majority of the darker half of each object. So each leg is a cylinder. Do you know what a cylinder is? A tube. So only the darker half of each tube, the breast, the chest, all of that is going to get lit up. And that's how you get instant 3D. So we've got a sphere, right? Basic shape. Each sphere with the light shining on it has shadows sitting halfway. What I just did is I located this guy. All right. I didn't do anything with highlights, anything at all. All I did really from the start of the painting process till now is just darken your piece. So I didn't add any highlights. So the reason why you said something's missing, something looks off, it needs that little push, you didn't have a core shadow present in your world. And then you gave us this gigantic, huge white background, and you gave us a really, really washed out value. You didn't just have no shadow. You had no midtone either. Okay, so now remember that sphere I drew. Another thing we can do to spheres to make them three-dimensional. We've got their core shadow, the light source is coming from there. We can put a bounce light coming off the ground nearby, bouncing along that sphere. All right, let me show you the power of radial shading, also known as the power of my techniques, also known as the power of Istebrak, also known shut up. Soft brush, full black, low opacity. I'm adding in a core shadow. Voila, we have a sphere that's done. I'm adding in a bit of highlight. All right, the power of the dark side, there you go. And then I'm going to add a white line. That instantly made it three-dimensional. Oh my God. Like, wow. Instant. And then we have a little shadow. Look at that. Doesn't that just make you want to cry? Right? Lots and lots of stuff with very, very little effort. What does that mean? It means that's just high efficiency. It's not really a form theory class, but I just want to take a moment to just look at that sphere and just sit back and just look at it. Look at those curves. So what we want to do is take all these units of form and use them on him. So we already found that core shadow. Look, found. We already took care of the core shadow. Oh, like star eyes. Yes, star eyes. So that means all that's left is the bounce light. So the reason why I want to talk about this specifically is because it's fake bounce light. It's not real. We're just faking. But it's fun to do because it's just we're not actually adding any bounce light to this. We're just borrowing the background value and just like using it in some areas, and we're just faking the fact that there might at one point have been light bounced off his light. And then there's just that general smoke power that he has. Nowhere else in the design, which is another reason why it looks boring and feels boring, nowhere else in the design do you have anything that indicates that he is a smoke elemental or uses smoke energy. Okay, so you see it made no sense that only his hand smoked. You want to, and then that along with the cigarette and then the little piston things that are blowing up or are lit up along his prosthetic leg, that makes more sense. You see what I'm saying now? So I'm just going to duplicate these areas specifically, merge them down. This thing, I'm just gonna give it a basic shadow and one of the basic lights here, maybe something like that to make it smoking. And this one, I'm gonna give it also pretty basic shadow and then just tuck this one behind. All right, and that's another thing. He's an axe wielder. It doesn't seem like an axe wielder. He seems like a dagger wielder. He's got a very lightweight body. He's not an axe wielding. He's not a berserker. He's not a heavyweight. He's not a dwarf-like stout character. There are tropes. Yeah, you have to follow them. There are tropes, and they don't make sense when we break them. I'm going to give him those nice big eyebrows. And because he's mostly bald on the sides, I'm actually just going to gray out the sides of his head. Just because they really shouldn't be dark as well. He's mostly bald on the sides, right? And then I'm just going to make sense of his ears. And cast a nice generous shadow on his face. You generally want to paint the effect of things. Excellent, Artceptual. Yeah, I mean, you can just manage your contrast, though. I get your point, but erasing is one of the roads to Rome. It's easier to go too far than bring it back with an eraser than to get it right the first attempt. Exactly. You can't really paint in a translucent object that's supposed to allow things behind it to be visible. So take a look at what shading his eyes has done to his character. Damn, this guy's like hot now. Just adding that little bit of character. And one thing that I forget how Smoker is painted like that, I think. And he's got like big eyebrows and he's got like these dark circles because he's a smoker. So you're pulling from that, you know, smoker face. And it just makes him look more mysterious, but also it adds that darker element to his character design. This is all, everything I mentioned about the smoke, about the character design, the gesture, is why he seemed so boring. Nothing about him really told me that any part of this design is uniform. So I'm just darkening his eyebrows because those are just like, they just make sense. The metallic surfaces need to behave metallic. So I'm going to just let them shine. And really, when it comes to art, you can put this sheen anywhere as long as it's on the light side of the object. It's not on the random dark side. But metallic objects reflect the nearby environment. So you could, in fact, put like a weird little band of light right there and it would make a lot of sense because it's just reflecting the nearby environment. That's the secret to metallic, is that it looks, it's basically a mirror. It just borrows the values around it. There's a blue sky, there's blue on the metal. There's a green tree, there's green on the metal. Here, really, we're not really dealing with a lot. I don't know where this splotch came from. Oh, I think that's erased. I see. Okay. And I'll show you guys the before and after now. Any questions before I show the before and after? So the values are really washed out. I mean, if you really want that saturation back, by all means, bring it in. But now it'll be brought back over a really clean value that's dark enough. You want saturation, you can boost it right up if you need to. As long as the values, which is only visible when we grayscale, as long as the values are correct. All right, so you see before, there were no core shadows. Yeah, and things were pretty overexposed. Take a look. We're gonna travel from here to here. There's almost no core shadow. And we take a look here, here to here. There's a nice big core shadow on the chest. This looks better because it feels like it respects the light source. If you guys want to watch the full class, all you got to do is click on, go to istebrak.com and support me on Patreon. Even those who give only $1 a month still get the full recordings. So you can come to streams and watch the whole thing for free. Or you just support this channel with $1 a month on Patreon. Please consider going to Patreon and supporting for $1. You may say, oh, the next guy will do it, it's just $1. But I'm trying to get everybody involved, and my goal is 1,000 $1 patrons. Please help me reach that goal. If you guys learned something today, please help this community stick around for a longer period. That's it. If you guys are looking for flash sales for my masterclass is out. My masterclass for portraiture. Drawing a front view female portrait, maximum realism, a little bit of anime hybrid, balancing those two. It's out. It's $90 on Gumroad, but you can use launch 10, launch 10 to get the 10% off. But look out for flash sales in the coming months, random weekends. It might go down to like 30-40% off, even 50% off for like a day or two. If you just keep checking my store here and checking my Gumroad store. Thank you everyone for coming. I'll see you guys next time on Thursday, hopefully this Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Bye.